My wife's affair was exposed by her own parents. Now they want to disown her and leave me their $2 million inheritance. Should I accept it? I'm 29 years old. And for the past year, I've been married to Nicole. She's 27. Beautiful, smart, and comes from money. Like, serious money? Her parents run a pharmaceutical company that's worth millions. We met on a dating site about 3 years ago, and things moved fast. Too fast, maybe. We hit it off immediately, moved in together after a year, and got married shortly after that. Now I'm sitting in a motel room, wondering if I should accept $2 million from her parents after they revealed she'd been cheating on me with some kid half her age. And they want to disown her for it. Life's funny, isn't it? When I first met Nicole, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Not because of her family's money, I didn't know about that at first, but because she seemed different from other women I dated. She was confident, funny, and didn't play games. At least, that's what I thought. Our first date was at this little Italian place downtown. We talked for hours, and by the end of the night, I knew I wanted to see her again. She felt the same, and things just clicked into place. Her parents, Frank and Leah, were something else. I'd been prepared for the typical rich people judgment, especially since I come from a middle-class background, but they were warm and welcoming from the moment I met them. They treated me like family. Nicole used to joke that I was the son they never had, and honestly, it felt that way. Sunday dinners at their place became a regular thing. They'd ask about my job, my interests, my family. They really listened to what I had to say. My own family situation couldn't have been more different. My parents stayed together for the kids, which meant they argued constantly, but never showed affection. Family dinners felt like obligations, not something to look forward to. So when I found this warmth with Nicole's family, I soaked it up. Maybe that's where I went wrong, getting too comfortable, too fast. Looking back, there were signs, little things I dismissed because I didn't want to rock the boat. Nicole would sometimes work late without much explanation. She'd be protective of her phone, though never in an obvious way. If I walked into the room while she was texting, she'd quickly switch screens or put it away. When I asked about it, she'd say she was planning a surprise for me, or working on something for her dad's company. And I believed her. Why wouldn't I? I should mention that Nicole worked for her father's company. She was in charge of recruitment, a position she'd earned through hard work and a business degree. Her dad was grooming her to take over someday, or so he said. Since it was a family business, her parents kept a close eye on things, closer than I realized. The first real red flag was about 6 months into our marriage. Nicole started coming home later and later, citing work pressures. We'd always been physical, but suddenly she was often too tired for intimacy. I tried to be understanding. I'd bring home her favorite takeout, run her baths, give her space when she asked for it. I thought I was being a good husband. Now I wonder if I was just being a fool. The second red flag was how she'd deflect when I asked specific questions about her day. Instead of sharing details about work or colleagues, she'd change the subject or turn the conversation back to me. At the time, I thought she was just stressed. Now I know she was hiding something. The bomb dropped about 2 weeks ago. Frank and Leah invited me over for dinner, saying they wanted to discuss something important. Nicole was supposedly working late, so it was just the three of us. We sat in their immaculate dining room, eating steak and drinking expensive wine. The small talk felt strained, and I could tell they had something serious to say. After dessert, Frank cleared his throat. Son, he began. There's no easy way to say this, so I'm just going to say it. Nicole is having an affair. I stared at him. Sure, I'd heard wrong. What? Leah reached across the table and put her hand on mine. It's with one of the new recruits. A young man named Jason? He's only 21. Just out of college? My mind went blank. 21. Nicole was 27. What the hell could she possibly have in common with a kid fresh out of college? And why would she risk everything for that? Frank continued. We noticed she was spending a lot of time with him. We asked her about it, and she said they were just friends. But we had our doubts. We hired a private investigator, Leah admitted, looking ashamed. We know that sounds extreme, but we were worried about you and about the company. If this got out, it could mean a sexual harassment lawsuit given their positions. The investigator had followed Nicole for weeks. He had photos of her car parked outside this kid's apartment building, timestamps showing she'd go there straight after work, telling me she was working late or out with friends. She'd stay for a few hours, then come home. I sat there, numb, as they showed me the evidence, photo after photo of my wife entering some kid's apartment, receipts from dinners they'd had together, text messages they'd managed to obtain that were clearly more than friendly. The worst part, this had been going on for months, almost since we got married. I don't remember much of what happened after that. I know I cried. I never cry, but I broke down right there at their dining table. Frank and Leah didn't judge me. They comforted me like I was their own son. They kept saying it wasn't my fault, that they'd seen how good I was to Nicole, that she was throwing away something precious. I stayed at their house that night. I couldn't face going home to Nicole, to our bed, to the life we'd built that was apparently a lie to her. They gave me the guest room, and I cried myself to sleep. I felt like my world was ending. The next morning, I drove home before Nicole left for work. She was surprised to see me, especially since I hadn't answered any of her calls or texts the night before. She took one look at my face and knew something was wrong. "What happened?" she asked, genuine concern in her voice. "Are you okay?" I sat her down on the couch we'd picked out together. "Are you having an affair with someone from work?" Her face went pale. "What? No. Who told you that?" "Her parents," I said. "They showed me pictures, Nicole, of you going to some kid's apartment after work, telling me you were working late or with friends." She tried to deny it at first, said they were just friends, that it wasn't what it looked like. But when I pulled out the photos Frank and Leah had given me, she crumbled. She admitted everything. The admission was worse than the suspicion. Hearing her say the words "I cheated on you" shattered something inside me. I yelled. I don't remember everything I said, but I know I told her how much I trusted her, how I loved her, how I would have done anything for her, and she threw it away for some kid she barely knew. She cried, said she'd been bored in our marriage, that the affair didn't mean anything. Bored. That word stuck with me. I was working my ass off to build a life with her, and she was bored. I told her to leave. She begged for another chance. Promised she'd end it with Jason, that we could work things out. But how do you come back from something like this? Every time I looked at her, I'd see the lies. Every time she was late, I'd wonder where she really was. She refused to leave our house, so I did. I got in my car and just drove. I ended up at this motel in the middle of nowhere, and I've been here ever since. That was almost 2 weeks ago. I've been in contact with Frank and Leah almost every day. They've been more supportive than my own parents, who just told me to do what feels right. Helpful, right? Meanwhile, my in-laws have been checking on me, bringing me food, making sure I'm okay. They've even offered to let me stay at their guest house until I figure things out. Then came the offer that's been keeping me up at night. They want to change their will, leave me their entire inheritance, about $2 million, and disown Nicole. They said she doesn't deserve it after what she did, that I've been more of a son to them than she's been a daughter. I don't know what to do. Part of me thinks, hell yes, I should take it. Nicole destroyed our marriage, lied to me for months, and showed no real remorse until she got caught. Why shouldn't I accept the money? But another part of me feels like it's not really mine. It's Nicole's birthright, and I'm only being offered it because of her betrayal. Things got even more complicated a few days ago. Frank and Leah asked me to come over to talk about living arrangements. They suggested Nicole stay with them while I keep the house, since it's closer to my job. I was hesitant to face Nicole, but I agreed. When I got there, Nicole was already there. We avoided eye contact until her parents brought up the housing situation. That's when Nicole exploded. She accused me of turning her parents against her, said the divorce was all my fault. She claimed they should be on her side, not mine. We all just stared at her, confused. Then she dropped another bombshell. She claimed I was the one having an affair with a mutual friend, that she'd seen how cozy we were. She even showed poorly photoshopped pictures of me with this friend, trying to make it look like we were involved. She said her affair was just revenge for mine. The look on her parents' faces was priceless. Leah immediately called her out on the lies. Frank looked disgusted. That's when they revealed they were the ones who told me about the affair, that they were the ones who hired the investigator. Nicole's face went white. She hadn't known her parents were involved. She thought I'd hired someone myself. The argument that followed was intense. Nicole felt betrayed by her parents, accused them of always treating me like their son while abandoning their own daughter. Her parents, in turn, said they had expected honesty after she was caught, not more lies. Nicole stormed out, saying she never wanted to speak to any of us again. Part of me felt sorry for her. How must it feel to have your own parents turn against you? But mostly, I was just tired of the lies and the drama. After she left, Frank and Leah told me they had made up their minds. They were changing their will, making me their sole heir. They said Nicole didn't deserve their money after what she'd done, and that I had always been more family to them than she had. I told them I needed time to think about it. It's a lot of money, and a huge decision. They understood, said I could take all the time I needed. That was 3 days ago. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I talked to my friends, who all think I should take the money. They pointed out that Nicole not only cheated, but tried to frame me for it. If her parents hadn't already known the truth, her lies might have worked. She was willing to destroy my reputation to save her own. I also thought about my own situation. I'm going to need a place to live. The divorce is going to be expensive. I've already had to take time off work, and I'm running out of paid leave. My boss called yesterday to say if I don't come back soon, I'll lose my job. How am I supposed to focus on work when my life is falling apart? Today, I made my decision. I called Frank and Leah and told them I would accept their offer. They were relieved, almost joyful. They said they were glad to have the chance to make things right after what Nicole did. They told me Nicole has cut off all contact with them, blocked them on social media. She even quit her job, and so did her boy toy. I'm shocked Nicole loved that job, and I know her dad was planning to retire and let her take over. Now he'll have to find someone else. She's really burning bridges left and right, all because she won't accept responsibility for what she did. Frank sounded disappointed despite everything. She's still his daughter, his only child. It's impressive that they're choosing to do what they think is right rather than what's easy. Not many parents would do that. I'm going to visit them tomorrow, spend some time with them. I know they must be hurting, losing their daughter like this. We're kind of all we have left now, in a weird way. The divorce proceedings have started. Nicole and I barely speak when we meet with the mediator. It's hard to look at her without feeling angry and hurt. I heard she's already dating that kid, living with him. I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed. I thought our marriage meant more to her. Apparently not. Things with Frank and Leah are good. We don't talk about Nicole much. It's a sore subject for all of us. But we're building a new kind of family. They haven't changed their will yet. They're waiting until the divorce is final. They don't want Nicole to know until after they're gone. I'm still living in this motel, but hopefully not for much longer. I lost my job, but Frank talked to a friend who's hiring me at his company. It's actually a better position than my old one, with more room for growth. So maybe things are looking up. Do I feel guilty about taking the money? Sometimes, but then I remember how Nicole lied to me, cheated on me, and tried to frame me for an affair. She didn't care about my feelings when she was destroying our marriage. If she's angry at anyone, it should be herself, not me. I'm 29 years old, starting over, but this time I'll be more careful. This time I'll trust my gut when something feels off. This time I won't ignore the red flags. And this time I'll have the financial security to make sure I never have to stay somewhere I'm not respected or appreciated. Life's funny, isn't it? A year ago, I was happily married, thinking I had it all figured out. Now I'm divorced, about to come into $2 million, and closer to my ex-in-laws than my own parents. But you know what? I think I'm going to be okay. Better than okay.